Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. I wanted to thank you for tuning in and spending some time with me. I know that my videos have not been as regular as they used to be, but I just feel like I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and although that is not an excuse, I just wanted to mention that that's pretty much why I haven't been doing so many videos. I just haven't had the time to devote. But I thought this is a good time to do an updated video on what our monthly bills look like. So I've been budgeting weekly with you guys for quite some time now. So if you've been with me on my channel for a while, you're pretty used to my side income videos, my paycheck to paycheck videos, and just everything that goes along with it. Now, when I talk about paycheck to paycheck videos, I feel like I do need to mention this as well. That doesn't mean that we necessarily live paycheck to paycheck. You know, we don't have any money in between or something like that. All that means is I budget on a regular basis from paycheck to paycheck. So I have gotten some questions about that where people have said they're not really sure why I call them paycheck to paycheck videos when I'm not really living that way. And honestly, it's just more about the budgeting on a regular basis. So when I receive my paycheck, I always go through it and I try to make every dollar have a purpose so I can bring everything down to a zero-based budget. So sometimes that includes spending money and sometimes it doesn't include spending money. So it just depends on the week, it depends on our situation, and lots of other factors that go into it. So what you're looking at here is just an old notebook that I had, and I never used this, so I didn't really have a purpose for it. So I thought I would take this out. I'm trying to use my notebooks, not just to scribble in or use them to use them, but just kind of give them a purpose instead of, I'm famous for having a ton of notebooks, but writing all my stuff down on Post-its, and I don't understand why my personality is like that because it's really wasteful if I'm being honest. So here is my budget planner, just in case you are new here. This is a tool notebook cover, and inside I have an 18-month happy planner, and that is going to be expiring at the end of this year. So that's one that I picked up in 2019. So I'm going to open it up to my last paycheck budget and show you guys what that was looking like. So in case you did miss that video, same thing. I did start delivering for Grubhub again. So that is my main side income. My husband lost his job, so that is his unemployment for right now. I don't know how long that's going to hold out, but for right now, that's what we're dealing with as far as his income. And he's going to be going to school, so we're working out all the details and logistics for that to happen. And then over here, I just kind of tallied some things up. But what I typically do, and the reason why I like using this large or a big happy planner, is because there's so much space here to write on, especially with the vertical. So I end up having, you know, pretty much a box for all these different categories. So here I have my sinking funds, I have my cash envelopes down here, but way down at the end here, and this is something that I don't talk a whole lot about, is my bills for the next month. So what I need to do is the money that I'm earning, let's say, for example, in September, the current month that we're in, the money that I'm earning has to cover October's bills. So we do pay our bills a month in advance. The way I was able to make that happen finally, after wanting to do that for so long, is I used the stimulus money that we received in the spring from the government, kind of the under the CARES Act, and I used the stimulus money that both my husband and I received to get a month ahead. So I've kind of been riding that train ever since, and getting a month ahead, as soon as you do that, as soon as if that is something you're interested in, I should say first, but as soon as you're able to get 1 month ahead, it's really easy to stay on that schedule because you have to pay bills every month anyway. So it's just getting a month ahead initially, that's the hard part. So that's what we did. That's how we got a month ahead for us. I know other people pay their bills a month in advance. I'm not sure, you know, I think everybody's situation is different, you know, how they were able to make that happen, but that is our story. So typically what I do, now I received a pay cut for my job. I didn't lose my job, so that's a good thing, of course, but I used to bring in around 15, 14 every 2 weeks, and now I'm bringing in 1,300. So I've received more than a $400 pay cut per month. So my paycheck doesn't quite cover our bills. Now, this is wrong here. I don't know where I was kind of pulling these figures from, but I will correct this and show you what the actual figure is. So our bills have pretty much stayed the same. I'm going to put this aside for a moment, but our bills pretty much have stayed the same. You know, we don't have a whole lot different going on week to week or month to month as far as what we do or what we purchase or how we spend, but we do have a couple new bills that I need to account for, and I will explain what those are and what those mean going forward for us. So let me just adjust where I'm at here, and then I will zoom in just a bit. All right, so as you can see, I have lines 1 through 12 numbered, and I'm going to show you what our bills are specifically and the exact numbers, what we have to pay going out. So the first thing that I always list in any list that I make as far as budgeting goes for our household is our mortgage. So our mortgage has fluctuated a couple of different times in the past year, and part of that is because the area where I live, the property taxes skyrocketed for everybody. And I'm not sure why that is, except we've had some really new construction happening, like the replacement and modernization of some government buildings like fire stations and things like that. So things that needed to happen, but it was a real shock to everybody. So our property taxes went up in the matter of 1 year, almost $1,200. So to me, that's a huge jump and something that we were not prepared for. So when we were paying our mortgage and going along, you know, we were paying the same amount every month. All of a sudden, at the end of the year, we were hit with a bill. We had the choice to either pay it in full, like I said, it was almost $1,200, or attach it to our mortgage, divvy it up over 12 payments after that. So that's what we ended up doing. So our mortgage was, you know, lower, then it was higher, and now we're getting toward the end of this and it's, you know, going to be lower again. So our mortgage, and I'm going to put down, I used to pay just a little bit extra, but right now it is at $900. Now it's not quite 900. I'm just rounding it because I don't really like to do decimals when I'm budgeting. Now, when I'm balancing my checking account or, you know, debits and things like that, yes, I'm absolutely to the penny. It's imperative because you want to know exactly how much money you have at any given time to the penny. But for budgeting purposes, when I'm just trying to create a, you know, a snapshot or a big picture, that is how I do it. I round. So for our homeowner's insurance, now that is not part of our mortgage. Now, a long time ago, it used to be, and our mortgage company actually chose and provided an insurance company for us, a plan for us. And the more comfortable I got, you know, throughout the years, we've been in our house for, I think, a little over 11 years. The more comfortable I was doing my own shopping around and things like that. So where our mortgage used to be more expensive because our homeowner's insurance was built into it, just like our property taxes, I took that out of it a while ago and I started to pay on my own because I thought, you know what, it's a lot easier for me to shop around and look for homeowners insurance and change my policy when I need to than have to rely on going through the steps and the red tape that it takes to change it with the mortgage company. So I don't like to do that, so that's why that is separate. So the next bill, and I'm kind of listing them in order of due date too. That just kind of helps me visually. It helps my brain work on the organization of these. So the next one is my car lease. And before any of you say I'm wasting my money or throwing it away or whatever it is, on leasing, we like to lease, and it has worked out really well for us. And by the time our leases have been over in the past, we were ready for a different car. Now, that's kind of a luxury, I understand, but also the other side to leasing is that typically, now I'm not going to say in every case, but the cars that we have chosen, typically the lease option is much cheaper than actually buying the car outright. So for my car, in the sticker price that it has, for me to lease it, it's about $320 a month. For me to purchase this exact same car, I would be looking at almost $700 a month. I've got to be honest with you guys, I can't afford that. So that's kind of why leasing has also been the right option for us, because we just never had the money, because we always are, each of us have a new car, you know what I mean? Now moving forward, I think what we're going to do is my husband is probably going to get something different when his lease is up, or he's going to take over my lease and I'm going to buy a car. It just feels like the right time, and I don't know. So that's kind of something we're thinking about, but honestly, leasing for us is a conscious and intentional choice. So number 4, I have consolidated these 2 line items. Now, I don't consolidate my payments because they're 2 separate companies, but just as line items in my budget, I put gas and electric together. I used to budget so high for these, and honestly, I never really needed all the extra padding that I built into that budget. So right now, with the way we're using our utilities and the way our bills have been patterned out over the past several months, or over the past year almost, I think $200 is good. Now, when our electric is high in the summer, our gas is very low, and vice versa. When our gas is high in the winter, our electric is very low. So this runs our air conditioning, this runs our heat. So it kind of evens itself out. Now, what will I do if it exceeds this? I mean, I'm just gonna have to pay it, but I'm really comfortable in not padding those bills anymore. So, and like I said, our usage has just gone down. So the next one is cell phone. So we have 3 cell phones on this bill, and everything that goes with it. So we are looking at $180. We have AT&T. Personally, I think AT&T is extremely expensive, but that's just my opinion. You guys may not think so, or maybe you have a company that you think is expensive. They're all expensive, I guess. So the next one is car insurance. So this is for both of us. It's not only collision, but also, you know, liability, and we have to have our insurance at a certain valuation because we don't own our cars, so we have to have pretty good insurance. So for both of them, which I don't think is that bad, we're looking at $140 a month. And then next, my student loan, which I have had since the dawn of time. I wasn't always really great at paying this, and it's still $95. It should have been paid off many, many, many years ago. But like I said, you know, we used to have different debt situations, and, you know, I didn't always pay this like I should have. And so I'm in the situation that I'm in now. This is actually going to go up because this went down a little bit because of COVID. But before that, it went down because I asked them to lower it and give me a different payment plan because of my husband's job situation. So I've been paying this rate for a long time, and I think sometime next year it's probably going to be around $200. So I just have to be prepared for that. So our cable, in my opinion, again, is really expensive. This just covers our cable and our internet. We have basic cable, and we do have HBO, which is really a luxury. We don't need that, and I need to cancel that. When I signed up for it, it was a certain price for the first month, and then you had to keep it for like 6 months. So that has passed. I think that ended in August, so I'm gonna be canceling that. It's not gonna make a huge difference in the bill, but still it'll make a difference. So we don't have a telephone or a home phone or anything like that built in. This is literally our internet, basic cable, and HBO. And then next, our water bill. And our water bill is kind of high in my opinion, but also I have to say our sewage is built into it, so it is right around $90 a month, and you know, give or take, it could be a little bit higher or it could be lower, and of course that sometimes is contingent on whether or not it's an actual reading, so it just kind of depends. So car lease number 2, I'm gonna write here, and that is $341. And then flooring, so you guys know that I took advantage of a Home Depot credit card offer, and we bought all the materials, and my husband laid down the floor in the second floor of our home, so he did a great job. I think it looks fantastic. The only thing that we did need to go back to Home Depot and purchase was carpeting for our hallway, like our landing from the stairs, the hallway, and the stairs themselves, and one closet at the end, our linen closet. So that was also, you know, kind of expensive, but I'm still going strong, thinking, you know, $100 for a little while, and then I really need to concentrate on paying it down, because part of that, the first part of it, is 6 months no interest. So I really have to pay attention to the calendar on when that's going to expire. And the other part of it is just regular charge. The nice thing is at Home Depot, they have a special going on, I think until November, where the installation is free. So that was nice. And then, oh, so that was really nice, because the first carpet place we went to, which was the store that we used when we carpeted our house years ago, they wanted something like $3,000 for the stairs, a hallway, the landing. I mean, it's really just not that many square feet, and I just could not even believe the price. So I was like, no. And then lastly, we did get a new mattress, and again, this was a necessary purchase. So when I write these things down and you guys are like, really, did you really need that? Honestly, yes. So the flooring was desperately needed. I wanted to get rid of the carpet in our house because it was so worn by the dogs, and it was just really not helping my allergy asthma situation at all. So that was necessary, and our mattress was really necessary. So I got the mattress as a good deal, and I can pay it excuse me, over 4 years if I need to. All right, so let's add all this up. These are all our fixed expenses. So the difference between fixed expenses and variables, as you guys probably all know, is that fixed expenses are the bills that you have to pay every month that are pretty much the same. They are either the same amounts, or at least it's the same bill that you have to pay, and it's something that you can expect on a regular basis every month. Our trash isn't in here. We don't pay that every month, but if we had to, I would put about $20 down, because it's about $60 every 3 months. But you know what? I am going to add that. So I'm going to say trash is $20 per month. Now, again, we only pay it every 3 months, but still, if I had to break it down. All right. So these are our fixed expenses, and the difference between that and then your variable expenses is your variables are like groceries. Some weeks you might spend certain amounts, or your miscellaneous money, spending money, or maybe you have to buy gifts for somebody, or whatever the case may be. So I do that separately, but these are what we can expect to pay off the top. This is what is really important to our budget, and then, you know, we account for the rest. So 50 and 20. So that brings us to $2,770 per month. Okay. Now, we can't live on my income alone. Now, before, we could cover all the bills with just my income before I got my pay cut. But since we got my pay cut, that's not a possibility. So if I was just living on my income after the pay cuts, oops, we would be looking at $2,770 minus $2,600. So I'd be short $170, which is okay because my husband gets unemployment right now. He is going to be going to school, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect that moving forward. But once he becomes off unemployment, he can either do deliveries like I do and spend a whole heck of a lot of time concentrating on that, because in our area, it is a pretty lucrative thing to do, especially if you're not doing anything else. So if you have like a ton of time to devote to it. or he can start working in the field that he's going to be studying for. So he's going to do a trade. You know, he has a bachelor's degree, but it's just really not something that's going to help out too much right now. So he is going to be going into the electrical field and become certified for that. So I think that is exciting. I'm super looking forward to it. I think it's going to be just a really, really good turn of events. Now, as of next June, he's going to be getting his early retirement. So that's also going to kind of set us up to be pretty comfortable in that manner. But that is a private pension from his company. That's not Social Security, because he's definitely not old enough for that. But it is a early retirement at a reduced rate, not terribly reduced, but still reduced. But he can still work and earn as much money as he wants at the same time. So basically, the moral to this story is we just have to get through until next June, and then life will be different, hopefully. At least that's what our plan is. So these are our bills. This is what I have to cover. So when I do my weekly paycheck to paycheck budgets, or, you know, however often you guys tune in, at least you guys will know when I'm talking about that bills section at the end, I'm actually talking about what is right here. So I'm still going to be going over separately, like sinking funds and variable expenses and the income that we have coming in. I like to do real numbers because I just think it makes everything make a whole lot of sense, which is really helpful, not only to me, but hopefully to you guys who are watching. But I thought this would be good to do an updated list of this and kind of see where we're at with things. So, you know, when I pay off these two things, who knows how long it's going to take me, but that'll be $150 off this total, because that is the only running debt we have, you know, other than our other expenses, including our leases. So yeah, so that is it, guys. I hope this was helpful to you, especially if you are a regular viewer of my videos. I hope that you guys are doing well, and that you are having a really great start, unofficial start to the fall season. I know it's not officially fall yet on the calendar, but you know, when Labor Day hits, it just feels like we are ready to move on to the next phase. So I know I am ready. I am ready to decorate the house. I am ready for some cool, crisp nights and crisp weather, sweater weather. I'm just looking forward to fall in its entirety. So yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. One thing I almost forgot to mention, my niece is going to be doing her own budgeting channel. She just got her first apartment. She just got her first full-time job, and I just want to mention that because as soon as she uploads her first video, I'm going to give you guys a link just in case you want to see that. She is super independent. She's super intelligent, and I hope that you guys enjoy her videos if you decide to tune in also. So I will see you guys next time. Take care.